So, when is the best time for me to reach out to my ex after the period of no contact? How and what should I say? We're going to call it part one. Hey folks, Jim Miller helping you find and keep the love of your life and write a better love story. And this channel is all about getting back together with an ex-lover. If you're here for that, if that's what you're interested in, you're in the right place. And if you're not, hey, watch the video anyway. You never know what you might learn. But if you are new to the channel, I would ask you to smash the subscribe button. It should be right over here. When you do that, tick the bell icon. That way you will be notified of any new content as I upload it. And give me a thumbs up if you like what I have to say. Also, share the video with someone. If you know someone going through a breakup that might be able to benefit from it, I would appreciate your sharing it. So let's get into the content. This comes from a young man that I have been working with by email. He's one of my YouTube subscribers, and he wrote me an email and said, you know, he's been in a period of no contact for a little better than 30 days now. And he wants to know when is the best time to reach out to his ex, you know, and how and when. And I'm going to make that a part 2 video, but tonight I'm just going to talk about when. And I've said this in other videos. If you are just waiting, if you're not actually doing anything on yourself, but you're just waiting for that no contact period, you probably have some work to do yet before you're emotionally prepared. Because the first step in knowing when you're ready to reach out, or knowing when is the best time to reach out to your ex, is being emotionally prepared. You must be emotionally prepared for whatever answer comes back or for whatever response you get. All breakups are different, all relationships are different. I have no idea what happened, why you broke up, how all that came to be and whatnot. So a lot of that could determine how and when. But basically, you've got to be prepared for whatever answer comes back. You know, we've all heard the expression, don't ask a question unless you're prepared for either answer. You know, and that's the same thing. If you're going to reach out to your ex, you need to be emotionally prepared to deal with whatever the response is or no response is. What happens if she rejects you, he rejects you? What happens if they just ignore, don't respond at all? What happens if they are nasty back? What happens if they're just, hey, listen, I appreciate it, great, but I think we're just better off apart? You need to be prepared for that. And just because they say that doesn't mean that it can't happen down the road someplace. I have seen people, after a couple of years, they both went out and dated other people, and then they got back together, and boom, they're happy as they can be. I am not of the one and done philosophy, by the way. There's a lot of people that think you went out one time, it didn't work, get the hell out of it. Not at all. I don't believe in one and done. Anyway, sorry. Best time to reach out is when you are emotionally prepared. Part 2 of that also, though, is that you have to do it when it's good for your ex. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you know their schedule, you know their life, you know kind of how they live their life and what they do and when they do it. You know, you don't want to send it to them drunk at 4 o'clock on a Friday night. You know, you don't want to do that. And you don't want to send it to them in the middle of the day at work. You want to allow them to concentrate. You want to send it to them when they may be the most receptive to it and when they're able to process what you say. And then you need to stand back. And it depends on how you decide to, and we'll talk about that again in the next video. You know, most of the time people are reaching out by text. And don't be like me. Don't send them a text and then just watch your phone and wait for the response and wait for the response and wait for the response. You shoot it out there and then you let it go. Okay? You may decide to write them a letter, at which time you throw it in the mailbox. You don't know whether it's going to be there in a day or 2 days or 3 days. I think that's an awesome way to do it too in some situations. I've done that myself once before and it was very well received. So again, that's video 2, how we're going to reach out and what we're going to say. But again, you've got to make sure that you're emotionally prepared for whatever the answer is. And you've got to make sure that it's a convenient time for them. You know, maybe after work, maybe at a low stress period, you know, something like that. Just, you know, they've ended their day, give them an hour or so to calm down, maybe shoot them a text, you know, along those lines. If you're going to do it by phone call, you know, sometimes it's better off just to get their voicemail, just leave them a voicemail. There's a lot of different ways to handle that as well. But anyway, that's the best time. That's when the best time is to reach out. And the first part of that is the most important, is that you've got to be emotionally prepared for whatever comes back. Or if nothing comes back, you got to be prepared for that as well. So anyway, folks, that's what I have for you tonight. I would tell you to leave a comment down below. If you've been in no contact, just put yes in the comments down below. Just throw yes, I'm in no contact or something along those lines. If you're not familiar with no contact, put a no down there, and we'll talk more about that. If there's something you want me to talk about, something you want me to make a video on, please put a comment in the section down below. I'd be glad to do it. Look in the description section down below. There's a couple of free ebooks that I give away. In addition to that, there's also my personal emails down there. So if you have a relationship question that you don't want to post in a public comment, please write me an email. I try to get back to all comments and all emails within 24 hours. I've been getting kind of busy here lately. A lot of people breaking up. A lot of people getting back together though too. So I'm hoping to have a couple case studies that I can bring to you before long, and a couple of XPAC programs that I recommend. Kind of do a little review on those. I've been promising that forever, and I really need to break down and do it. So anyway, folks, again, I am Jim Miller, helping you find and keep the love of your life and write a better love story. Have a great night. Thanks.